Hey ladies, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna show you how to do my makeup with hyperpigmentation. I'm gonna start with my brows. Always start with your brows. I honestly should have did my brows before I put on my skincare. That way this brow wax doesn't move because I have other products on my face. But I wasn't thinking about that at the time. And I did put slip my eyebrows, so you know, that's how I felt for the moment. But I always use my e.l.f. concealer to color correct, and I almost slipped up. Make sure you put on primer first. I usually use the green power grip, but I'm actually out, so I have used the pink one, which is the same thing, but it has niacinamide in it, I believe. But make sure you put on primer, and please, let your primer dry down first. Then you want to go in with your concealer. Because I have dark spots and I'm a neutral undertone, I use a concealer that has more of a red undertone to it to counteract the dark spots. And that's on color theory and all that stuff. So if you're not familiar, look up another YouTube video. That's not something I will be explaining. But you want to make sure you cover all the hyperpigmentation marks that you're concerned with as much as you can, and then I double it with this NYX concealer. Same thing, it has a red undertone, but my e.l.f. is running out, so I put some NYX on top of it just to make sure I have enough product, because if you do not cover it enough and set it correctly, it will peek through your foundation. And some days I don't mind when I want something light, but for full coverage you want to make sure you have it packed on. Now I'm not doing full coverage today, but just a little tidbit. Now I use my Morphe concealer under my eyebrows. That is more of a neutral tone because I do want to highlight under the eyebrows. I'm not trying to cover anything, just highlight and kind of sculpt those out. And you're going to make sure you go ahead and blend that in well. The number one thing when it comes to makeup is blending. If it's not blended correctly, that's where you're going to see issues and you're not going to like how your makeup looks. Now this is after the concealer has set for about 2 to 3 minutes. You're going to lightly buff it out. You don't want it to look patchy and dry patchy and then put foundation on top where you can see it. So you're going to lightly buff that out just so that there's no like rough edges, so to speak. Now we need to set it. I normally use my Sephora pressed powder, but I have this new Morphe setting powder, so I wanted to give that a try today. So I'm using that powder. That powder also gives more of like a red undertone for me. So I'm testing that out. This is probably not the time to be trying out new things, but I wasn't going anywhere. I was just doing this video for you all. So this is also the perfect time to try out something new. And I feel like y'all know if I liked it. And just to let you know, I did like it. It wasn't a bad setting powder. Now back to filling the brows. I did get this little pen off of Amazon. Honestly, I don't like it. One, because the brown is too brown. It's supposed to be a dark brown and it's really not. So in person you can definitely like see where I put the pen. On camera you can't tell. I do like how it makes like hair like brush strokes, but other than that I don't like it. I would prefer to rebuy the one that I have. I just haven't been able to find it, so this is a quick substitute. So other than the color being off, it works well, but the color's off. So today I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me. I actually picked this up from the dollar store because I didn't want to keep using like my good foundation for when I just needed to like record videos real quick and I wasn't leaving the house. Not trying to waste my money. Need to save a coin. Also, don't forget, get that upper lip area. Make sure you go ahead and color correct that. It is like a little bit darker around my mouth, like the top and corners of my mouth. I don't understand why. Make sure you color correct that. I am using a wet beauty blender. I wet it really quickly. When I start putting on my concealer, I wet my beauty blender so that way it's moist, but it's not like damp. By the time I go to use it, it can kind of like dry and the water can seep in. But yeah, Maybelline Fit Me. It's actually a really good foundation. I actually really like it. And it works good with my winter tone because I'm a little lighter in the winter because I don't have any type of tan. And it has worked very well. And you see, it is supposed to be a full coverage, I believe. But you do have to like build it up some. Next is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. I like to use that under my eye. Now this one is like closer to my skin tone. I use that first. So, bridge of the nose, forehead, chin. And then this one is actually a tad bit lighter. That way it kind of like fills the highlight effect. Elf blush. I love Elf liquid blush down. I have about 4 shades. I think they're the only ones I need, and I always use those. I have been working on doing the blush prior to my concealer, because typically I would blend in my concealer, then do my blush. I would do contour, concealer, then blush, but I've been trying to do it in reverse. The good thing with this e.l.f. blush, it is buildable, but again, I'm keeping it light. I can't tell you what the name of this concealer is. I bought it from CVS like a minute ago. It doesn't even like say anything but concealer on the side. No indication of what brand it is. I have zero clue, but I do know that I bought it from CVS. So this is like a cost friendly video, because most of these items can be bought from like CVS, Walgreens, or like the beauty supply store. And even if you go to Ulta, Elf is affordable, NYX is affordable. But again, blend it out. I have a big vanity mirror, but you need to get up and close. So I have to use the little handheld to make sure I'm getting everything I need to. Once again, blend, blend, blend. I know you're supposed to do like a swipe up into the hairline motion with contour, but that doesn't really work for me. I honestly feel like I'm dragging the makeup around too much. So I just like to press it in, and as I'm pressing, I move up towards my hairline. And also, I'm trying to not get too much of it on my wig, which is why, on my lace, which is why my band is still on. Then I like to go in with my beauty blender just to blend it out again, but just like for a more smoothing, where you won't end up seeing like any of the brush strokes from the concealer brush. Set in between, elf setting spray. I typically use that for like my in between, and I always finish off with like one size or Morphe, one of the other ones. Now we're gonna go ahead and use the powdered bronzer. I believe if I show it, this is like a new one I just found from a suggested brand on TikTok, and they had like a huge sale, so I bought 3 bronzers, and so far I like all of them. I'm gonna set my face with my Sephora pressed powder. I love this pressed powder. I use it for so many things, and it's so affordable, so cost effective, and it works the best. I'm gonna use my Fit Me powder for under my eyes. Again, when I do these videos, I use my affordable products if I'm not going anywhere. Sorry, my light went out. And I use my good stuff like my One Size and Julia's Place, all of those for like if I do a video, but I'm actually leaving the house. I did not leave the house this day. This video was just for y'all. Put on a full face of makeup just to show y'all how I cover my hyperpigmentation. And I went absolutely nowhere that day, but I did record some content, so I got use out of the face. And you want to make sure you set under your eyes. I do also set like down and above my mouth. There we go. There go the bronzer that I used earlier. Julia's Place on the brush. I try to use as much black on as I can too when I find products. But either way, I just use what works for me. And as far as I know, the company hasn't done anything to, harm the black community. So I try to just roll with that. Then we're going to add some more bronzer on just to contour, add some color back into my face. And then I like to go ahead and just put on my eyes. When I don't do eyeshadow, it's either the blush or the bronzer. I'm just going to go ahead and add that over my eyelids just to, add something so that they're not bare. And for this video, we're going to set with the Milk Matte Setting Spray. I actually grabbed this from Marshall's. Caught that for a good deal. But that is my setting spray. It works pretty well. I like it. We're going to go ahead and do the lip combo next. The first one is MAC. I can't remember what color that was, but it was more of a lighter brown. So I do know I'm going to end up going over it with a different lip liner. But sometimes I do like the double so it can give like an ombre. But you see, like, that's too close to my skin. So now I'm going to use the Morphe Trendsetter. I do remember that. I love that one. That Morphe Trendsetter. Perfect brown for me. Perfect brown. I will be buying that forever. It's my equivalent of like matte cork that everyone likes. NYX butter glosses never can go wrong. I do highlight my lip liner with my brown gloss before I add in like the pinky color on top. If y'all want to know the shades, comment below. I'll go back and look up the shades for y'all. And then the NYX fat oil, just put that on top just to add a nice little color to it. And bam, we're pretty much done. That's really just it. I did add a little bit more pink in there just to touch it up. But we're done. We're finished. I really shouldn't have wore this purple shirt between the makeup and the red hair and the purple shirt. It's a lot of colors going on. But as you see, this is how I cover my dark spots. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye.